your place for quick summaries of movies with jaw-dropping twists. Let's dive in. The series begins with a little girl named Luna who lives a peaceful life and plays in the garden of her house. Suddenly, a strange person with an obscured face descends from the sky. We learn that he is an immortal being, and he offers to change her destiny. He takes her and flies with her, showing her the stars and the moon. Luna feels happy, and at the end of the day, she asks him if she will see him again. He tells her they will meet again in 10 years under the light of the moon. Years pass, and we see Luna as a grown-up, sleeping in the spot where she met the immortal person 10 years ago. Her friend doesn't believe her and tells her it must have been a dream, but Luna is certain she will meet him again. At night, her family comes to her with gifts for her 18th birthday. Suddenly, a strange mark appears on her face, and a beam of light emerges from her, reaching the moon. Everyone is shocked by what happened, and no one understands it. Demons in the form of monsters appear out of nowhere and surround her. A mysterious woman arrives, and the monsters flee in fear of her. Luna learns that the woman is a demoness. Guards try to attack the demoness, but she absorbs their souls and traps them in magical stones. Luna's family falls to the ground, and the demoness lifts Luna into the air, intending to absorb her soul as well. Suddenly, a young man with a sword arrives and saves her. We learn his name is John, a demon slayer. He begins to fight the demoness, but she is stronger than him and knocks him to the ground. As she is about to finish him off, his master arrives, and it turns out the master and the demoness know each other. The master casts a spell on John, transforming his appearance. John flies into the air, surrounded by immense spiritual energy, and strikes the demoness, shocking her with his power and causing her severe injury. She is forced to flee, but John faints afterward. News of the incident reaches the king's palace, and he summons a man named Chong to investigate the girl who emitted the strange light and find out why the demons attacked her. Chong visits Luna's house and asks to meet her. He questions her about the reason behind the appearance of a powerful demoness targeting an ordinary girl like her. Luna says she doesn't know why and insists it's his duty to capture the demoness. Chong becomes angry at her boldness and challenges her to come to the palace to prove if she has the ability to fight demons. Later, Luna talks with her friend, expressing her suspicion that John might be the immortal person she met 10 years ago who came to save her. At night, while walking in the market, she sees John on a boat and runs to him, boarding at the last moment before it departs. She thanks him for saving her and asks him to take her on a sea tour. She also asks if he is the immortal person who appeared 10 years ago, but he tells her he is always busy hunting demons. Luna begins to think she imagined it. John stands under the moonlight and tells her to wait for him before jumping into the sea and swimming away. Luna grows worried when he takes too long to return, calling out for him. Eventually, he emerges with a chest, and Luna is surprised that, despite being in the water, his clothes are not wet. She feels he might be the immortal person, hiding it to protect her. John asks her to close her eyes, opens the chest, and pulls out a magical pearl. He crafts a bracelet from it, places it on her hand, and dips her hand into the water. Luna is astonished as the sea changes color, reflecting the moon and stars. John instructs her to always wear the bracelet. Afterward, he returns to his master and reports that he has fulfilled the task of giving Luna the magical bracelet. The master reveals that Luna possesses unique spiritual energy and that since her birthday, demons have been pursuing her to claim her soul. He emphasizes John's mission to protect her. At night, Luna notices the bracelet protects her from demons and evil spirits. The next day, she meets John and thanks him for the bracelet, asking him to accompany her to Chong's palace. Although John initially refuses due to his duties, his master orders him to go with her. Luna is happy to be closer to him and to confirm if he is the immortal person she has been searching for. John, curious, asks his master why he must go to the palace. The master explains that a sacred sword is there, which John must find to defeat the demons. Meanwhile, the demoness is seen absorbing the souls of monsters and transferring the energy to her child, aiming to make him the most powerful being. She decides to absorb Luna's energy. The next day, Luna goes to Chong's palace, where there is a test with many participants. She waits for John, but he doesn't show up, so she enters alone. A nun announces that the first test is to identify a demon hiding among the participants. Fear spreads and everyone begins to suspect one another. A woman named Shia casts a spell, revealing one of the participants as a demon. The demon attacks, but Shia strikes him down. As she approaches him, Luna asks her not to kill the demon, but Shia ignores her and finishes him off. They discover another demon is still hiding, and Shia suspects Luna because she defended the demon. She casts a spell on Luna to expose her, but suddenly a demon appears from behind and attacks Luna. John arrives just in time to save her and hands her a sword to kill the demon. Although Luna is scared, John encourages her until she takes the sword and strikes the demon with her eyes closed, surprised to find she has defeated it. The nun declares Luna has passed the first test and advances to the next round, giving her the Demon Hunter emblem. Luna is overjoyed and thanks John for his help, but Chong arrives and tells her she must rely on herself and cannot succeed with others' help. He takes the emblem from her and gives her another chance to prove her abilities. The nun leads them to their quarters, and Luna is thrilled to become a demon hunter. However, Xia feels jealous of her. At night, Luna wanders the palace and sees someone training, impressed by his strength and skill, as he cuts down trees with a single strike of his sword. She assumes he is a fellow trainee and approaches him to talk. John appears and tells her the man is a high priest, surprising Luna. She apologizes for not recognizing him and asks him to train her. The priest is impressed by her courage and demonstrates a move, telling her to train until she can perform it, or else she will be expelled from the palace. He leaves and John decides to help her. He takes her to a magical place to train, gives her a sword, and begins teaching her how to fight. John is amazed by her talent and how quickly she learns. Days pass and Luna continues to train, growing stronger until she becomes skilled in sword fighting. She returns to the palace and sees a maid taking poison pills. Luna saves her at the last moment and learns that Xia has been bullying the maid, which is why she wanted to end her life, and Luna got angry and went to yell at her, telling her to stop bullying the maid or she would regret it. She mocked her and challenged her to a fight, saying that if she won, she would follow her orders. Luna was forced to agree. John found out what happened and was worried about Luna because Xia was strong, but Luna insisted on completing the challenge, confident she would win. The next day, Luna prepared for the fight. At the same time, Chong demanded to fight John to test his strength. The challenge began, and Luna tried to defend herself, but Xia was skilled in martial arts and had a magical whip, which she used to strike Luna, knocking her to the ground. The maid felt guilty because Luna was hurt because of her and begged her to withdraw from the fight. But Luna refused, enduring the pain and standing to continue. She remembered John's training and gathered her strength, using a move she had seen the priest perform. Xia was surprised and unable to block the strike, falling to the ground. Everyone was shocked by what happened, and Luna succeeded in winning the challenge. The maid ran to her, thanking her for defending her. Meanwhile, John was fighting Chong. Their strength was equal, but John managed to push him out of the ring, winning the challenge. He was surprised to find that Luna had also won. The priest praised her for increasing her strength in such a short time and offered to grant her a wish. Luna asked him to give the maid a chance to become a martial arts student like her. The priest agreed and told them to rest because the next test would be difficult and they would do it together. That night, John celebrated with Luna, and the maid cooked their favorite meal. They all sat together, eating and enjoying themselves. The next day, they began the test, which required them to find a magical firebird. They walked through the forest, and Luna started hallucinating because of the fog, recalling the immortal person she had met 10 years ago. Suddenly, she saw a feather and snapped out of the hallucination. They followed it until they saw the bird. Luna approached to catch it, but the bird sensed her, perched on her hand, then turned into a fireball, burning her hand. John quickly took it from her and sealed it with an incantation. He scolded her for putting herself in danger. Luna was happy he cared for her, but noticed he was in pain. She saw his hand and was shocked to find it burned by the fire. She tried to take the ball from him, but he refused. The ball exploded, knocking him unconscious. The priest arrived, saying his condition was critical, and they took him to the palace for treatment. Luna felt guilty because he was injured because of her. She decided to search for a magical herb to heal him. She walked through the forest until she reached the herb's location, injuring herself to make it appear. She took it and prepared to return to the palace, but heard a strange sound. Suddenly, a demoness appeared, attacking her and throwing her into the sea. A wave rescued Luna, placing her on the shore. A man dressed in white appeared, standing on the water. He was also a demon and told her to leave his territory. Using sound magic, he began fighting the demoness. Surprised by his power, she fled. He approached Luna, saw the rare herb with her, cast a spell to paralyze her, took the herb, erased her memory, apologized, and disappeared. He returned to the sea, using the herb to heal his sick brother. Luna returned to normal, shocked to find the herb gone, and cried. John comforted her, assuring her he was fine and didn't need it. They returned to the palace. Xia accused Luna of betraying them and selling the herb to the demon. John decided to prove her innocence and retrieve the herb. He asked Luna about the demon's appearance, but she couldn't remember. The next day, they went to the forest to search for him, Suddenly, the demon appeared as a spider, attacking Luna and strangling her with his web. John defended her and they fought him. Luna helped and they managed to defeat him, but he escaped. The water demon appeared, finishing him off. Luna saw him but didn't recognize him because her memory was erased. John was suspicious of him. They returned to the palace without the herb. John asked the priest to punish him instead of Luna. The priest ordered him to clean the barn. As John prepared to carry out the punishment, he had a vision of his master, who reminded him of the beast that entered the palace for him and urged him to find the legendary moonsword quickly. He also warned him to stay away from Luna, saying they couldn't be together or they would get hurt, as happened in the forest. John refused because he had feelings for her. The master cast a spell on him, saying that whenever he tried to get close to Luna, the spell would activate, causing him pain. John returned to the palace, where Luna was waiting to help him clean. The water demon accompanied them, but he and John didn't get along, constantly arguing and making a mess. Luna got angry and scolded them to stop fighting. Suddenly, a magical book fell from the library, cleaning the place on its own. The three were surprised, and the book pulled them inside, transporting them to another world. Luna was amazed, wandering through the market. The water demon gave her a flower, making her happy and grateful. John felt jealous because he was trying to get close to her. Meanwhile, Shia was in the forest when the demoness appeared, strangling her, but then releasing her, saying they were on the same side. They agreed to get rid of Luna. Later, John told Luna the truth about the water demon, accusing him of stealing the magical herb. Luna was shocked by his words. When she left him, he collapsed, writhing in pain because of the master's spell. Luna confronted the water demon, asking why he deceived her and stole the herb. He admitted he did it to save his brother and apologized for hiding the truth. He asked for a drop of her blood. Luna agreed, cutting her finger. The demon was surprised she agreed without questioning his reason. Luna said she trusted him and knew he was kind. The demon was moved by her words, promising to repay her. They heard someone approaching, and Luna asked him to hide. Shia arrived with guards, searching for the demon but couldn't find him. Chong arrived, threatening Luna with a sword to reveal the demon's location, but she refused. The demon saw what was happening and came out to save her. Chong attacked him, but a masked figure appeared, throwing a smoke bomb and escaping with the water demon. When they reach the forest, it becomes clear that he is John, and they thank the devil, saying he will help remove the spell from his body. He casts a counterspell on him and says the curse has been temporarily lifted, warning him to be careful. He is advised to inform his master of what happened. When he does, the master scolds him for disobeying orders, putting himself and Luna in danger. The master decides to cast a stronger curse on him, leaving the John in pain. Luna goes to check on him, but encounters someone who mocks her, accusing her of causing trouble for John and suggesting she stay away from him. However, Luna asserts that John is her friend and that she will never abandon him. If he needs her, she will always be there to help him. John overhears her, is moved by her words, hugs her, and tells her he will never leave her either. From a distance, someone watches them, feeling jealous and harboring more resentment toward Luna. She then meets with a demoness, expressing her willingness to do anything to get rid of Luna. The demoness gives her a magical fire orb and instructs her to use it to return things to chaos. She uses the orb, unknowingly causing a massive fire that traps Luna and a servant in the flames. The guards attempt to extinguish the fire with water, but fail because the fire is enchanted. Luna tries to break the spell's seal, but her power is insufficient. John learns she is trapped inside and risks his life to save her. When he grabs her hand, Luna feels her spiritual energy grow stronger, enabling her to break the seal and extinguish the fire. The servant thanks her for saving his life and gives her the magical herb she had been searching for, explaining that his family has passed it down for generations. Luna thanks him. The priest arrives and gathers all the students to investigate the cause of the fire. Luna gives him the herb, surprising him that she was able to find it, causing him to momentarily forget about the fire. He uses the herb to create a spell to restore his spiritual strength. After completing it, he collapses from exhaustion. Guards arrest Luna and the John, accusing them of poisoning the herb to kill the priest. They are imprisoned, leaving Luna shocked. The John reassures her that the truth will come out and that their innocence will be proven. Meanwhile, the assistant tries to heal the priest and remove the poison. He asks Chong to take the priest's place temporarily until his health improves. Chong is delighted, revealing that he orchestrated the poisoning to take the priest's position. Chong gathers the students and announces that Luna will be sentenced to death. A servant defends her, declaring her innocence, but no one believes her. Meanwhile, someone visits Luna in prison, taunting her that her end is near. She takes Luna to a secluded place, binds her hands and feet, and tortures her, confessing her infatuation with John and her intent to eliminate Luna to clear her path. She summons the demoness, claiming she has fulfilled their agreement, hands over Luna, and leaves. Later, she visits John, convincing him that she persuaded Chong of her innocence and that Luna deceived him. Chong agreed to release John on the condition that he refrains from using his spiritual powers. John pretends to believe her until he is freed, but it turns out he was aware of her plan. He tells her he could never love her and traps her in a magical place before rushing to save Luna. At that moment, the demoness attempts to absorb Luna's soul. John arrives just in time to free her. Luna is overjoyed to see him. John tries to fight the demoness, but is overpowered and injured. Luna, fearing for his safety, urges him to escape and leave her behind. He refuses, declaring he would rather die with her. As the demoness prepares to attack them, a water demon suddenly appears to defend them, stating that he will not allow her to harm his friends. The demoness laughs, pointing out that he can only use his full power in water and is powerless on land. A servant arrives with a water container, casting a spell to make it rain. The demoness, afraid, retreats, knowing she cannot defeat him under these conditions. Luna, exhausted, cannot return to the palace for fear of execution. The water demon takes her to his realm under the sea. When Luna awakens, she is happy to see that John worried about her. He tells her he cannot live without her, kisses her forehead, and they sit together under a sacred tree. The water demon is astonished as the tree, dead for centuries, comes back to life, attributing its revival to their love. The tree possesses healing powers capable of curing any poison. The water demon creates a path for them to use the tree's power to heal the priest. He gives Luna a necklace, promising to help her whenever she needs him. Luna thanks him, and he opens a portal to return them to their world. Meanwhile, a servant discovers that Chong poisoned the priest and confronts him. Chong confesses, intending to eliminate the servant, but the priest, now healed, intervenes. It turns out this was part of a plan by Luna and John to expose Chong. Chong is arrested, and the priest orders his imprisonment, expressing sorrow as he had regarded Chong as a son, only for him to betray him. This clears Luna and John's names. Luna decides to confront her tormentor. John takes her to a place where they can settle their differences. Luna defeats her, but chooses to forgive her this time. John warns her that if she tries to harm Luna again, she will regret it. He then takes Luna away. The next day, a trial is held. Chong confesses that she helped him in his scheme. The priest discovers that one of them caused the fire. Upon searching them, he finds a magical orb with Chong, revealing that she planted it on him. Chong tries to defend himself, accusing her of collaborating with the demoness, but no one believes him. Enraged, he attempts to attack her, but the priest immobilizes him with a spell, rendering him unconscious. The priest announces that Chong is no longer his student and will be expelled from the palace. The priest and his assistant visit the location of the moon sword. The priest explains that he must choose one of the students as his successor, someone capable of wielding the sword to protect the human world from demons. Meanwhile, John and Luna grow closer, confessing their feelings for each other. Luna asks John to propose to her family after they pass the final test. John, saddened because his master disapproves of their relationship, fears breaking her heart, but reassures her that he will do it. The next day, the final test begins. The priest gathers all the students, announcing that whoever passes will have the opportunity to wield the moon sword. Since John and Luna are his most skilled students, he gives them the chance and transports them to the moonlight chamber. But suddenly, Luna disappears, leaving John shocked as he keeps calling out for her. Luna finds herself back in her home and encounters the immortal man. This time she sees his face and is stunned to discover it's John. However, he suddenly attacks her and begins to strangle her. Meanwhile, John is transported to a desert where he meets a strange-looking Luna wielding a magical sword. As he approaches her, she suddenly attacks him, and they stab each other with the sword, both feeling as though they are about to die. Luna realizes it's an illusion, activates the seal on her horse, unleashes a massive energy, and shatters the illusion. They both emerge from the moonlight room, astonished to see each other. The priest informs them that Luna has passed the test, broken the illusion, and earned the chance to claim the moon sword. Luna is overjoyed, but John is anxious and worried about her. He asks her to delay claiming the sword until he confirms something, leaving her to meet his teacher. John asks his teacher if Luna's life is in danger, but the teacher doesn't tell him the truth. Instead, he casts a spell on John, trapping him inside a small doll. The next day, Luna is puzzled that John hasn't returned. She goes to claim the sword alone, feeling nervous as she thinks about John. Meanwhile, John manages to break the spell and escapes the doll. rushing to stop Luna before she claims the sword. However, when he arrives, he finds her already performing the ritual, the seal on her forehead glowing as she grasps the sword. He tries to stop her, begging her to let go of the sword, but she doesn't listen, successfully pulls it out. The place collapses, and John notices the sword draining her energy. He takes it from her, and Shiha appears, telling Luna that John had deceived her and only used her to obtain the sword. Luna is devastated by Shiha's words and starts crying. John defends himself, trying to explain that he was only worried about her, but Luna doesn't believe him. She slaps him, takes the sword, and continues crying. Shiha attempts to attack her, but Luna uses the sword, releasing a massive energy that knocks everyone to the ground. The water demon senses danger and comes to rescue her, taking her to his realm. John suffers a severe injury, and Shiha stays by his side until he wakes up. Determined not to give up on Luna, John vows to find her. The water demon realizes the moon sword is draining Luna's soul, takes it from her, and uses sound magic to seal it. Luna regains consciousness, feeling exhausted, and the water demon gives her an elixir to restore her spiritual energy. He plays music with his magic to heal her. John goes to the sea, calling out for her. The water demon appears and tells him the sword could drain Luna's energy until she dies. The only way to save her is to find a spiritual artifact called the Bone Eater, buried in the wasteland for thousands of years and nearly impossible to locate. John decides to risk his life to find it. The demon transports him to the wasteland, where John searches tirelessly until he collapses from exhaustion. Meanwhile, the water demon's brother tries to seize the moon sword, but the water demon stops him and warns him to stay away from Luna. He stays by her side until she wakes up, explaining that John loves her and has risked his life to find the artifact to save her. Luna is moved by his words, feeling guilty for misjudging John. She asks the demon to take her to him. Using sound magic, the water demon transports her to John, who is in pain but enduring it to save her. John succeeds in finding the spiritual artifact but cannot approach it due to a magical barrier. Luna arrives and sees John in agony, crying because he is risking his life for her. John is surprised to see her, thinking he's dreaming. Luna manages to break through the barrier, dispels the enchantment on the artifact, and claims it. John rushes to her, carrying her back to the water demon. John feels weak due to the curse in his body, and the demon tries to ease his pain. Luna feels helpless and scared for him. Luna begins to play the spiritual artifact, but she grows tired and falls asleep to rest. John holds her to comfort her, and when she wakes up, she is healed, her energy restored. She thanks the water demon for everything, bids him farewell, and they return to the castle. The maid is overjoyed to see her. The priest gathers everyone in the castle, announcing that Luna has passed the test and has the opportunity to become his successor. However, Luna refuses because she doesn't want to leave John. The priest appoints John as her guardian to protect her, making them both happy to stay together. At night, they sit by the fire in a magical boat, traveling until they reach the high priest's location. He welcomes them, and Luna begins attending lessons to learn how to become immortal, with John by her side encouraging her. Their relationship grows stronger. The next morning, John wakes up to find Luna speaking with the high priest. She tells him she is willing to sacrifice her immortality to cure John's curse. Touched by her words, John loves her even more. Later, the priest and his disciples prepare to close the gate through which demons enter the human world. Luna plays the spiritual artifact, and everything seems to be going well until she loses control and plays involuntarily. It turns out the water demon's brother is using a counterspell. The gate explodes, releasing many demons. The disciples fight to protect the gate, and a demoness arrives intending to possess Luna. The priest fights her but is injured and unable to defeat her. Luna's soul begins to drain, and John wants to save her but is hindered by the curse in his body. John's teacher communicates with him telepathically, telling him he has a chance to save her by using the moon sword. John initially refuses, but when the demoness defeats the priest and attacks Luna, he takes the blow for her. He summons the moon sword, gathers all his strength, and attacks the demoness, successfully defeating her. The demons flee, and John collapses with a severe injury. Luna runs to him, holding him as she cries and begs him not to leave her. He tells her he's happy he sacrificed himself to protect her, and promises they'll meet again in the next life, and his soul begins to fade. He remembers his memories with her and the sweet moments they shared together. The last thing he says is that he loves her. He reaches out his hand to touch her, but he vanishes. Luna collapses. She keeps screaming and calling out to him. Suddenly, the portal goes out of control, and everyone is afraid of the demons escaping from hell. But a masked figure appears. It's immortal. He succeeds in closing the portal. They try to figure out how to prove his innocence. The water demon knows his brother is behind what happened, but refuses to say so. Luna comes up with an idea and gives Immortal a drink, asking him to drink to prove he is not John, as John would start hallucinating when he drank. But Immortal shocks her by drinking it without changing his behavior, telling her he doesn't remember her or love her. Luna leaves, drinking in sadness because she sees her lover in front of her but cannot be with him. The water demon confronts his brother, who admits what he did, saying he wants his people to leave the water and live on land. His brother is shocked by his words and decides to imprison him to stop his plan. Luna sits under the sacred tree, recalling her memories with John and hallucinating. Immortal is affected by her words, feeling his heartache. Luna begins crying and almost stumbles, but Immortal catches her. She imagines John in front of her, wanting to embrace him, but Immortal carries her in his arms and lets her sleep. He goes to the water demon, telling him the time is up. He restrains him. The water demon admits he is the one responsible for what happened. It turns out he is half demon, half human. Immortal decides to capture him. The water demon refuses to hand him over, but his brother says he will take responsibility for what he did and goes with them. Luna apologizes to the water demon, promising to try to convince Immortal to release his brother. The demon thanks her, giving her a necklace and telling her he will always be her friend. Later, Immortal imprisons the demon and places a magical seal to prevent him from escaping. Immortal returns to the palace and meditates to enhance his spiritual power. Luna sees him, but doesn't disturb him. As she leaves, she stumbles and nearly falls. Immortal rushes to catch her, holding her in his arms. Luna is surprised by his actions, realizing he cares for her. She cries because John's personality still lingers, as Immortal doesn't like touching her and becomes nervous, leaving her to continue meditating. Meanwhile, Shia is upset about John and decides to take revenge on everyone. She has a magical orb and summons demons who mock her, thinking she is weak, but she easily kills one of them, shocking them with her power. They become afraid and kneel before her. Meanwhile, Immortal is meditating when suddenly he feels pain in his heart. Luna finds him unconscious and sits beside him, giving him part of her spiritual energy, but she faints from exhaustion. Immortal wakes up to find her beside him. He takes her to her room and lets her rest, but she keeps holding onto his clothes, calling out for John. Immortal is moved that she still remembers and loves him. He covers her and sits beside her until he feels she is waking up. He checked on her, and then left. Luna learns that he stayed with her all night, and she thanks him for being kind to her. However, he feels embarrassed and tells her he was just returning the favor, nothing more. Later, he receives news that demons are attacking families, and Luna decides to go with him. Meanwhile, we see the students fighting the demons, but their numbers are overwhelming, and they get surrounded. Suddenly, the Immortal arrives and takes control of the situation. The demons are terrified at the sight of him and try to flee, but he immobilizes them. He wants to know who their new leader is. The water demon arrives and tells him he will interrogate them, takes them away, and disappears. The Immortal learns from the students that the magical barrier preventing demons from entering the palace has been destroyed. He goes to place a stronger barrier, but feels exhausted from using a large amount of spiritual energy. He returns to his palace to rest and regain his energy through meditation. During this time, a servant from the palace visits the place where the water demon's brother is imprisoned. She starts talking to him, and for the first time, he feels that someone isn't afraid of him. He begins to admire her. The next day, the water demon visits the Immortal's palace and proposes a peace treaty. He promises not to let demons attack humans and wants to free his brother from prison. Everyone opposes the idea because they don't trust him. A vote is held, and Luna tries to convince them that the water demon is kind and has helped her multiple times. People begin to believe her, and they raise their hands, but the vote ends in a tie. The Immortal raises his hand, breaking the tie. Luna is surprised that he agreed with her and goes to talk to the water demon. He thanks her for helping him, and the Immortal sees them together. He feels jealous, takes her away, and leaves. Shia is in captivity and visits the place where the water demon's brother is imprisoned. As soon as he sees her, he learns about her life and offers to cooperate with her to achieve their goals. Later, the Immortal starts teaching Luna magic and how to increase her spiritual energy. Suddenly, a mark appears on her forehead, her energy spirals out of control, and she is thrown far away. The Immortal rushes to her and catches her before she falls. He is puzzled by what happened, but reassures her that she is fine. However, after she leaves, he collapses to the ground, feeling weak. The high priest sees him, is shocked to find him injured and bleeding, and begins to heal him. He tells the Immortal that the closer he gets to Luna, the weaker his body becomes, and his immortality could be at risk. The immortal decides to distance himself from her and gives her a cup with magical water to make her lose her memory and forget about him. She refuses because she still loves him and throws the water on the ground. The high priest enters and tells her the truth, explaining that as long as she stays close to him, she endangers him. Luna is shocked by his words and decides to leave him to avoid hurting him. She walks away crying. Meanwhile, the water demon goes to the other demons, uses his power to make them kneel, and threatens them, saying that if they attack humans, he will destroy them. Everyone is terrified of him and obeys his orders. This concludes the events of the first part. Activate the notification bell